Hey, what's up, y'all? Just want to do a quick video on this Warne XSKEL mount. Sort of give you my opinion on it, why I think you should consider it if you're looking for a budget AR mount. So to start off with, I just want to say I feel like this one's often overlooked. If you get on your mainstream, sort of gun forums and everything, you'll see people talking about the primary arms mount, the Burris Pepper, the SWFA Burris Pepper knockoff mount, and basically those are all budget, and I don't know why this one's not really talked about all that much. This one cost me $85. I paid less for this than I did for my Pepper mount, which it was a little bit more. I had the quick detach levers, but that one was $95. This one was $85. So anything under $100, I think, would fall in that budget mount category. And this is by far the nicest mount I've ever handled in that price range. So if you do an internet search for 3-gun rifle or 3-gun scope mount, this is actually really common with that crowd. So it's like it made it to the competition, circuit crew. It just never really made it to the mainstream, AR, military style AR or whatever gun crowd. And I do think it should. It's a good quality product. So here, I'm going to promote it for you, Warren. You're welcome. Anyways, just sort of getting into the meat and potatoes. You can see that this is machined out to save weight. On the tops of the rings here. I have this front one loosened, so I don't have to do that on camera, but I'm going to flip this over. You can see they machined out on the bottom here, on the bottom of the rear ring there. These 3 large cavities are machined out to save weight, so that's pretty cool. One really cool feature about this is Warne installs these steel sleeves in the ring half. So basically when you tighten up these ring screws, you're tightening it into steel and not aluminum. And so that's going to allow you to tighten it a little bit more, and it's going to prevent it from stripping out. So that's a really cool feature. It's actually why this mount has sort of these wide, the width to it. It kind of looks weird. It looks like these wings sticking out. I never cared for that until I finally got one of these and realized why. And I appreciate this engineering a lot, and so since it's totally functional, I don't mind the way that it looks now that I know why it looks that way. Another really cool thing about this is going to be your cross bolts here. Warren calls these the half-inch tactical nut. So basically this is captured, so it doesn't thread off. You're not going to lose it under your bench. It's going to be stuck to the mount, so you can't lose it. And the crossbolt itself is squared, so you can kind of see that's going to butt up against your Picatinny rail for a nice positive stop. So a lot of the high-end scope mounts have what's called fixed lugs, one or more of them machined onto the bottom, and it's basically these lugs that pop off the bottom that butt up against the pick rail, and they just give you a real consistent return to zero. Is a fixed point that doesn't move, so every time you push it up against the lug, it goes, only goes so far, and you torque it down. Well, this one, they didn't machine fixed lugs in. They made the cross bolts the fixed lugs. So these are press fit in. They don't wiggle around. They don't move at all. These cross bolts are basically 2 fixed lugs. So no excess material. You get the same end result, which is a really consistent return to zero. And because they use high quality American-made steel, the appropriate steel for the job, you don't have to worry about stripping these cross bolts out like you do on some of the cheaper mounts. These can handle the recommended torque spec of 65 inch-pounds, just like these ring screws can handle the recommended torque spec of 25 inch-pounds. So that's pretty cool. Also, these rings are going to be kind of curved. I believe that's so you can squeeze every last inch of eye relief out of your scope when you're mounting it, should you need it. I guess it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So kind of neat, and it looks kind of neat as well. So I'll sort of give you some views of this. Mine came a little dinged in the packaging, but I'm OCD, but not that OCD. There's like some grease on there. Pretty nicely made, considering. Also wanted to talk about the fact that it's made in America. So that's pretty cool too. So budget mount, made in the USA. They include this little instruction pamphlet. Over here they sort of give you some detail and recommendations on how to mount it. They give you a torque spec for the tactical nut, and a little further down they give you a torque spec for the ring. Go over here, there's a diagram on how it comes apart. Up top, they give you a torque spec for the ring. Down the bottom, they give you a torque spec for the tactical nut. So definitely not a state secret. And on the back side of this pamphlet, they give you a little bit of information, you know, oh, it's superior return to zero, basically a big advertisement, but none of it's a lie, I guess. And then they tell you it's 2 inches of offset, and then again, they give you that 65 inch-pound of torque for the base. And then they advertise some other little products that they offer. And they're also telling you, again, it's made in the USA. So that's pretty cool. They do include this little hex key here if you wanted to, or it's actually a star Torx key, if you wanted to use it to install your scope in the rings. I always recommend using a torque wrench if you know the torque specification, and they are making it abundantly clear the torque spec they want you to use on this. But they do include this just so you can if you don't own a torque wrench. So I only use it to take apart the ring, but I'd never use it to install a scope. So anyway, pretty cool. Definitely like it better than the Pepper. Definitely lighter. Just seems to be a nice quality product, and I think it's worth your consideration if you're looking for a pretty cool scope mount. All right, y'all take care.